you ever seen this on a calculator? What does that funny E mean in the middle of the answer? In this lesson, you will learn how to write very large numbers by using scientific notation. First, let's review how to multiply by powers of 10. 3.64 times 10, you've learned before that multiplying by 10 can be accomplished by moving the decimal point one place to the right. 3.64 times 100, well, 100 has two zeros, so it's really 10 to the second, which means we're going to move the decimal point two places to the right. 3.64 times 10 to the fifth, you've learned before that you're going to move the decimal point five places to the right, filling in zeros as needed. A common mistake is going to be counting decimal places in the wrong direction. To avoid that, let's learn right now from the beginning that we're always going to count from where we want to put the decimal point to where it actually is. So in this slide, the orange circle is where the decimal point actually is. And as you'll see in a minute, we're going to want to put the decimal point where the blue circle is. That means we're going to count from the blue circle to the orange circle. Count from where you want the decimal point to where it actually is. So, what is scientific notation? Well, we'll learn what it's useful for as we go along. But in terms of what it is, it has two parts. A number between 1 and 10 times a power of 10. That has to be an integer. Here are examples of numbers written in scientific notation. Notice they all have a number between 1 and 10 times 10 to an integer. In this lesson, we're learning how to write large numbers in scientific notation. So here's a large number. Okay, first we find where the decimal point actually is. In this case, since we don't see a decimal point, that of course means it's at the end after the ones place. Since we need a number between 1 and 10, we want the decimal point to go right after that 6, so that we'd have 6.97, which is between 1 and 10. But we can't just put a decimal point somewhere else. To compensate for the fact that we've moved the decimal point to make 6.97, we have to count how many places to the side from where we've put it the decimal point actually is. So from where we want it to where it actually is, we see 9 places to the right. That means we've multiplied by 10 to the 9th. And that's our answer. 6.97 times 10 to the 9 is how you write this original number in scientific notation. We should also be sure we know how to do the reverse. In other words, starting in scientific notation and rewriting in regular notation. So here's a number that's in scientific notation. We take the 5.23, and since it says times 10 to the 4th, we're going to move the decimal point 4 places to the right. And the answer is 52,300. So, remember how we started that funny E on your calculator? That's just the calculator's shorthand way of saying times 10 to the 9th. In this lesson, you have learned how to write large numbers using scientific notation.